Question 11, 11a. We have 2 to the power 3 and 3 squared. We're just comparing which one's bigger, which one's smaller. So 2 to the power 3 is 8, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 3 squared will just be 9, and obviously a is less than 9. So that will be the answer. B, 2 to the power 4 and 4 squared. So 2 to the power 4 will just be 2 multiplied by itself 4 times. If you actually do that, you're going to get 16, and 4 squared, 4 times 4 is also 16. So in this case, they are equal. C, we have negative 2 to the power 4 and a negative 2 to the power 4. So this one, I don't even need to do the calculation, because negative base raised to a positive exponent, even exponent will be positive. And here we have a coefficient that is negative, so it's going to stay there. And a positive number is bigger than a negative number. The negative 2 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 3. So this one we have a negative base, all power, so it will be negative, but the coefficient is negative, so negative times negative is positive. So this will be the same as 2 to the power 3. And this is also 2 to the power 3, so they must be equal. E, negative 2 to the power 6 and 6 squared. So negative 2 to the power 6, negative base, even power will be positive. And 2 to the power 6 is 64. You just multiply the base 2 by itself 6 times. And 6 squared is 36, so I can say 64 is bigger than 36. Negative 5 to the power 3 and negative 3 to the power 5. Negative 5 to the power 3, so this will just be negative 125, because negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 is negative 125. Negative 3 to the power 5 will be negative negative 243. You just use negative 3 multiplied by itself 5 times. So negative 125 is bigger than negative 243. Because for a negative number, the bigger the negative number, the smaller it gets. G, negative 5 to the power 4 and negative 4 to the power 5. Again, I don't need to do the actual calculation here. We have a negative base ratio and even power that's positive, negative base ratio and all power that's negative, so a positive number is bigger than a negative number. Same idea, negative base raised to an all power is negative, and this is just a positive base, so raised to a positive even exponent, so it's going to be positive. So negative is smaller than positive. So this one is very interesting. We have a fraction raised to an exponent, and this is just a bigger exponent. So you see 2/3 square is just 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. 2/3 to the power 3, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 3 to the power 3 is 27. And now I can make the same denominator. I can times this one by 3 over 3 to make the denominator equals to 27. So that will give me 12 over 27. And now you can see that 2/3 square is actually bigger. So this is a possible pattern. When the base is in between 0 and 1, the smaller the exponent, right? This 2 is smaller than 3, the smaller the exponent. The bigger the value. Of the number. So we'll see if this is true. So J Well, to test this out, maybe we can just do one more. Maybe 1/2 to the power 3 and 1/2 to the power 4. Something like that. Maybe I'll do 1/2 square. So 1/2 square is just 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. And then 1 to the power 4 is 1, 2 to the power 4 is 16. And you should be able to see that, of course, 1/4 is bigger than 1/16, right? So this is true. So whenever the base is in between 0 and 1, the bigger the exponent, the smaller the value of the number. And the smaller the exponent, the bigger the value of the number. J, we have 5/2 to the power 3, 5/2 to the power 4. So this one, we have 5 to the power 3 is 125, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 5 to the power 4 is 625, 2 to the power 4 is 16. Again, I can make the same denominator, times 2 times 2. I get 250/16. So of course 250 is smaller than 625. So this will be smaller. So here, this time when the base is bigger than 1, the bigger the exponent. Right, the base is bigger than 1 here. 5/2 is bigger than 1. So the bigger the exponent, 4 compared to 3, the bigger the value. Okay. We have 3/5 to the power 5 and 2/5 to the power 6. So this one, you can't really compare them using those rules because the exponent is not even the same. And I mean, this could be a typo too. I think that they probably meant 3/5 here. So I'm just going to use 3/5. They probably just have a typo. Okay, so this time the base is smaller than 1 in between 0 and 1. So the bigger the exponent, the smaller the value. And the smaller the exponent, the bigger the value. So this one should be bigger, right? They have the same base. And the base is less than 1. So the smaller the exponent, the bigger the value. L, 8/7 raised to the power of 100. And 8/7 raised to the power of 101. This time the base is bigger than 1. When the base is bigger than 1, the bigger the exponent, the bigger the value. So because 100 is less than 101, that's why the left-hand side number is less than the right-hand side number. Negative 2/3 raised to the power 3. Negative 2/3 raised to the power 5. Now this one is very tricky. Normally the base is in between 0 and 1. When we have a small exponent, the value is bigger. But because they are negative, so you need to take that into consideration too. When they are negative, the bigger the negative number, the smaller it gets. So this one is actually smaller. So if that's too confusing for you, it's okay. You can just do it manually. You will get negative 8/27. If you do negative 2/3 to the power 3 and negative 2/3 to the power 5, you should get negative 32/243. To make the same denominator, you can times both of them by 9, and you will get negative 72/243. And now you should be able to see that negative 72 is smaller than negative 32. And negative 3/2 squared and negative 3/2 to the power 5. So I just need to know negative base ratio and even power is positive, and this one negative base ratio and all power is negative, so positive is bigger than negative. Oh, negative 2/3 squared and negative 2/3 to the power 4. So they will both be positive because we have a negative base raised to an even power in both cases. Now I can say that the base is in between 0 and 1. So the smaller the exponent, the bigger the value. So this is a smaller exponent, that's why it's bigger. P, negative 3/2 squared, negative 3/2 to the power 4. So they will both be positive because both are even exponents with negative base. The base here will be bigger than 1. So the bigger the exponent, the bigger the value. Okay, that's it for question 11. I'll see you in question 12.